the Englishman and his castle and the neat straight hedges and every sprig exactly where it's meant to be, and spraying and flailing and mowing and chopping and tidying. And suddenly there's this other species, a Labrador-sized rodent that comes in with its family and changes the whole dynamic along the bottom of the valley. And you have no choice but to step back and grant another species autonomy over that part of the landscape. That is an enormous mindset shift, which is why the reaction to beavers making an illegal reappearance after 600-700 years on British rivers was met with fury and outrage among the landowning and land management community. And that has slowly waned. And now we have this great acceptance that beavers are back. And in terms of the cultural shift, if you stop a random person on the street now, in the city or in the countryside, they know that beavers are back, that they're a native species, that they play a vital role in managing our rivers. People know. And so the beaver has kind of rewilded the spirit of the country. So is this cultural shift a kind of railing against tidiness and too much management and a yearning for more nature and more connection? Everyone has a mindfulness app. People go out looking for wild swimming opportunities. It's like zeitgeist. You pick up any magazine, any newspaper, go into Waterstone's booksellers and see what books are there at the front of the shop. It's all nature and nature connection.
Welcome to the Mongabay newscast. I'm your co-host, Mike DiGirolamo. Bring you weekly conversations with experts, authors, scientists, and activists working on the front lines of conservation, shining a light on some of the most pressing issues facing our planet and holding people in power to account. This podcast is edited on Gadigal land. Today on the newscast, we speak with Ben Goldsmith, a financier, philanthropist, and host of the popular podcast, Rewilding the World, where he shares success stories of rewilding projects around the globe and the people driving them. We wanted to speak with Goldsmith about his environmental work, which is highly regarded in the United Kingdom. He details the changing political and environmental landscape in the nation. The UK has long been one of the most ecologically denuded and has been averse to reintroducing charismatic predators and megafauna, such as wolves, lynx, bears, and bison. But the tide is beginning to turn, Goldsmith tells me. He shares how the changing economic conditions of the UK regarding farm subsidies have catalyzed a cultural shift. Attitudes towards animals like beavers are changing. Previously seen as a nuisance, they are now embraced by many farmers. Goldsmith paints a picture of an ideal world where more people would learn to live with animals that many believe are difficult to coexist with. He tells me many of the worries people have about species reintroduction often never come to pass. Goldsmith is an adept communicator, and he covers a lot of ground in this conversation. He also discusses a new nature investment firm he has started called Nattergal. This venture aims to raise funds for rewilding nature, or as Goldsmith likes to put it, the mother of all infrastructure. Ben, welcome to the Mongabay newscast.
I'm so excited to be here. I've been reading Mongabay for so many years. I'm such a fan, and I feel very honored to be invited on the podcast.
Well, the feeling is mutual. I've been listening to your podcast, and I have to say, I'm really enjoying it. So I'm delighted to talk with you. The first thing I want to say to you, Ben, is that I find your story incredibly moving. You have a really compelling voice and a clarity on nature and humans' relationship with ecosystems. And your podcast really goes into this subject confidently, into these detailed conversations on those working in rewilding. And I feel a kinship with the work that you're doing. So thank you. But rather than me, recounting what you do, I would like you to take us back to the beginning in your own words. Can you tell us where your strong bond with nature comes from?
Yeah, I mean, I think like all children, I was born with a love of wildlife, fascination with wild places, wild creatures. I mean, I think that's anyone who spent time with any child, of kind of a toddler, will know the fascination that they experience when you show them a frog, or a bird's nest with blue eggs in it. I think that E.O. Wilson was right when he coined the term biophilia to describe the innate love that all humans have for the non-human world. We love our dogs. You look at a London park when the sun comes out for 5 minutes, like everyone is out there lying in the grass and having picnics and so on. The price of an apartment overlooking a London park is kind of twice the price of one that doesn't. We yearn for some kind of connection with nature. But when I was young, this was front and center in my life. It was everything to me. And it stayed that way.
Hey, and thanks for tuning in to listen to the first few minutes of this interview. There's a lot more to it. So if you want to hear the full conversation, find the Mongabay newscast wherever you get your podcasts from and click subscribe. You can also get each new episode straight to your inbox by subscribing to Mongabay's weekly newsletter at mongabay.com. If you really want to help support us, you can also donate to us at patreon.com/Mongabay. Don't forget to leave a review. And thank you, as always, for listening.